Good morning, everyone. How are you? It's me, Corey, the face of Koa. I thought I'd come on live because I haven't come on live for a while and just felt drawn to just before I go to work. I woke up this morning with lots of energy and I slept really well. And that's such a gift because I've been recently really struggling with very vivid dreams, which have had a real impact on, although I'm sleeping, I'm waking up in the morning and I'm just not feeling rested. But today is not one of those days and I'm incredibly grateful. Yeah, I wanted to come and just check in. How are you all? Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, this is when you see that it's live, right? I'm just going to keep going. I might have to sneeze again. Oh, do you know when you hate that? When you know you're going to sneeze and then you can't sneeze and... Okay, I think it's past. Apologies. Yes, I wanted to come on and just check in with you all and see how you are, how you're getting on. It's been a really wild and windy few days here in Edinburgh. It feels more like autumn than spring, but that's okay. So I guess I really wanted to share a little bit about just some of the impressions I've had in this last week. It's been a really powerful week for learning, for reflection, for compassion, for self-awareness, for growing as a professional. So on the weekend, it was International Women's Day on Sunday, and on Saturday, I held my Surrender Series somatic workshop, Reclaiming the Body, with some beautiful souls, some beautiful women on Saturday. And we really explored what it means to be a woman and embracing how individual and unique we all are and how diversity should be celebrated. And then on Sunday, in some ways, it was very similar themes, but we went even deeper and we celebrated the women who came before us, the women who can't be with us anymore. So talking about loss, and also the women that just couldn't be in that space physically on that day. And then there was also this connection as women of who we are and embodying that power within us and that voice that we want to find so we can express ourselves and set boundaries and feel heard, feel witnessed, which is so important for actually anyone, not just women, men and women, but on this particular day on Sunday we did that. And I was left at the end of the weekend happy, tired, but at the same time just so inspired to continue holding these groups, these circles, these spaces, because it's so magical when people come together and just authentically connect with each other and respect each other. And I always have my kind of group rules, if you like, of being cautious to not overshare, particularly when it comes to trauma. One, because research tells us that actually isn't helpful and can be re-traumatization. Two, because it can be triggering for someone in the space. And also, this idea of we are holding that space together. There's this collective responsibility and accountability to create a safe enough space and a supportive space, a compassionate space, a space where all is welcome. And so far that has really served us all. And every time I leave with my heart just overflowing with gratitude and joy and love and a feeling of a strong connection. And it's amazing how you'll have people in the room that have never met and yet they show up for themselves and they share and they're fully in and they move and they breathe and they connect and they do what's right for them. You'll see people when we're doing the movement but just lying down and I go, yes, I celebrate that because you're doing what's right for you and your body. Because if you've been to any of my events, everything is optional and you're in choice. It was another huge opportunity for me to learn and grow and be reminded of why I do this work and why it is my life's work. And I always say that, but it's true. And then this week was week 2. Yesterday was week 2 of my Survive and Thrive group that I do at my day job, Injustice, as part of my very small trauma-informed team. This is week 2, and Survive and Thrive is actually run through the NHS. I've been trained in this as a trainer. Well, I say a trainer, as a group facilitator. And it's a 10-week course, psychoeducational, for survivors of trauma, more specifically complex trauma, really. This week I was reminded of the importance of adapting any materials that you present to anyone that's in your groups, if you're a facilitator or a co-facilitator, presenting them in a way that is supportive and inclusive, the importance of knowing that the people you're working with, particularly if it's very specifically kind of trauma orientated as a group, trauma focused, really considering the importance of pivoting sometimes and the language that we use when we explain things, having lots of breaks, holding space for people if they're feeling activated and giving them that space to be with it, but in a really supportive, compassionate, non-judgmental way, and maintaining those really clear boundaries, because we know when trauma happens, we have no control. And we also know that trauma impacts us all differently, that it's a unique experience. There's kind of themes that run through these trauma experiences and trauma symptoms, but at the same time, it's an individual experience for every single one of us, and we embody it differently, and we react differently, and we see it differently, and it impacts us differently, and our symptoms are different and unique for each of us. And so it's really important to acknowledge that. So I have the same when I do my groups with Koa. I usually have a nice kind of plan of what I want to do, but then I often say I really work with what's in the room, with the energy is in the room. I'll pivot, I'll do different practices, I'll check energy levels, I'll give people space. This weekend, for example, there was a moment where we were like, okay, let's all take a breath together, where somebody shared something. Again, not going a deep dive into maybe what was said, but rather coming back to the soma, the body, and acknowledging and witnessing what that person is going through, and giving them that space to be seen, to be heard, to be held. And yeah, I'm just realizing that this, I am learning every day. And every time I'm a facilitator or I hold space in a group, whether it's with Koa, my business, or my day job, or anywhere else, I am learning every single time about my own limitations, my own boundaries, areas that I need to explore and reflect on in supervision, because I go to clinical supervision, areas that I need to learn from, maybe do differently, things that went well that I know, that's an anchor point for me to bring back in another session. The importance again of boundaries, of non-judgmental space, of those trauma-informed principles of collaboration, empowerment, non-judgment, all of that, how crucial they are. And actually for me, they're the biggest anchor. With everything that I do, I try and embody, I do embody actively and really consciously trauma-informed principles. And they are my anchor in my work. Because I find that if I can hold on to my trauma-informed principles, then that for me allows me to then build on that safely in a space. And safety is key. When we feel safe enough in our bodies, in our hearts, in our minds, in our spaces that we go into, that's when we grow the most. That's when we learn the most. That's when we feel we can be vulnerable, we can share, we can learn. It's the places where we don't feel safe, where if we think of the window of tolerance, if you're new to this, go and Google it. We think of our window of tolerance, we go out of our window of tolerance. So we're activated, we're triggered. We're not usually our best selves. We're reactive. We don't think clearly. We maybe freeze up or feel overwhelmed or just want to run away. The kind of fight, flight, freeze, flop responses that we have with the autonomic nervous system. So safety is key with any relationship. Again, for me, it underpins whether I do one-to-one work, my supervision mentoring work, my supervision group, or any other group, the spaces that I hold. But even more importantly, in group spaces, it is key. It is key, and it often gets forgotten. And I've been in many spaces in my lifetime as a guest to events or sessions where there's not been safety, or there's been said, you are safe, you feel safe, but the safety isn't upheld. And that is, in my view, unacceptable when we work with people, especially when we're working on things that are trauma-related or more vulnerable, or we're working deeper. And of course, when you're working with the soma, with the body, you inevitably work with the different layers and nuances of your nervous system and your body and your thoughts and your mind and everything else. And so that safety is key. Anyway, I could go on about this for hours, as I'm sure those of you that have met me will know this, and certainly the workshops where the spaces that I hold, I try and not go into the theory too much because I always share resources after every session so people can take that deeper dive if they're interested in the theories and the kind of science behind what we do. But it's more about out of the body, out of the mind, into the body, out of the mind, into the body, and that experiential approach. Anyway, I just wanted to come on and just say this week has just been that really big reminder of, one, that I love the work I do, two, the importance of good clinical supervision, three, how crucial it is that I keep learning, growing, reflecting, stay humble, and four, that I trust myself. And I trust the people in the room based on what we agree as our basis, our group rules, that we can hold that space together. So there we go. Anyway, I hope you're having a lovely Thursday. I hope you're well. I'm holding space for a group tonight, which I'm really excited about, which is maybe why I felt so inspired to share this today. And yeah, just take care of yourself. And if you're coming to one of my groups or my sessions coming up, I can't wait to see you. There's still spaces on my Reclaiming the Body workshop. We have our last one this April. Dates and everything are in my bio on my website, all of that, or you can contact me. Find Your Voice. There's 2 more left in April and in May, and then I take a summer break before we restart again in September. So if you'd like to join us, do join us. I think with the Find Your Voice, there's maybe only 2 spaces left. Reclaiming the Body, I think I've got like 4 spaces left. So I'd love you to join me. And there are community spaces as well, so please use them. So, you know, the last few sessions, they weren't used, and I'm always so sad because I keep them open until the very last minute and available for those that would like to access those spaces. So please use them, otherwise they go to waste. Okay, I'm going to go. I've got to get to work. Have a beautiful Thursday, everyone, whatever you're doing. Take care, and let's all make an effort to be more accountable and hold safer spaces wherever we go, whatever we attend, and also as professionals in particular. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely day.